A hypothetical financial model of a typical residential photovoltaic electric system purchase. And it shows example numbers and the application of the various federal and state incentives and how they may apply to the installation of a solar system in the state of Florida. The numbers that we're going to present you are valid only for the state of Florida. Each state has different programs. We recommend highly that you check the website www.dsireusa.org. It's the database of state incentives for renewable energy. We are not financial professionals or advisors. We're solar system integrators. We're technicians and salespeople. Please consult with your own qualified professionals before making any purchase decision. Electric utility rates vary greatly from place to place in the country and from place to place within the state of Florida. We are using 12 cents per kilowatt hour in this example as a representative rate for utility supplied electricity. Now, solar insolation, the amount of sun that a particular system will receive, varies greatly from place to place in the country and even within the state of Florida. We use an annual average of 7.2 kilowatt hours per kilowatt of capacity per day. Therefore, a 5 kilowatt system should produce about 900 kilowatt hours of electricity per month, and it should save you about $105 per month at the current utility rates. And that equates to about $12,000 or $1,250 per year. Now, we didn't make these numbers up. This is a map showing the insolation capacity around the country, and you'll notice that the south part of Florida is well into the 7 to 7.5 kilowatt hours per kilowatt per day. System cost estimate. Only a licensed solar contractor can give you an actual cost estimate for your solar system. In mid-2009, within the last few months of this presentation, the national average cost for installed photovoltaic solar electric systems was $8.32 per watt. The source for that data is from the National Renewable Energy Laboratories. You can check that out at www.nrel.gov. Now, we use an example system cost in this presentation of $42,000 for a typical 5 kilowatt, 5,000 watt residential system. So 5,000 watts times $8.32 per watt is approximately $42,000. The actual cost, again, will vary widely from state to state, from area to area within a state, and also any specific individual property considerations would factor into the actual price of a system. Now, in Florida, we have a number of incentives that are available. We urge you strongly to check with your local government, county and state, and with your local utility company provider of electricity for any other incentives that they may also have to offer. In March of 2008, the Florida Public Service Commission enacted a rule entitled the Net Metering Rule. And this rule limits the amount of photovoltaic capacity that any customer can install on their property to not more than 90% of the historic electrical demand of the customer at that property. The other provision of the rule is that a full credit for any excess photovoltaic energy that is generated must be given to the customer. Each billing cycle, the meter that's installed will measure both the electricity energy consumed from the grid and the amount of excess energy that you produced that was sent back out onto the grid. And at the end of the billing cycle, the utility company will bill you for the net amount of electrical consumption, what you used minus what you gave back. If for some reason at the end of a year you have an excess credit of energy, then the utility company is required to buy that excess energy back from you for cash, but at a greatly reduced rate than what your normal purchase price was. And this is all specified in the tariffs that apply to your local utility company. The State of Florida Rebate Program. The current legislation expires in June of 2010. You must apply for your rebate within 120 days of the system's installation. If you wait longer than that, you will not be eligible to receive the rebate. So you must apply as soon as the installation is complete. The current state rebate amount is $4 per watt of installed photovoltaic capacity, up to a maximum limit of $20,000. And the hardware that is installed must be certified by the state's agencies, and it must also be installed by a licensed contractor. So you have to be careful what you're buying and who is installing it for you. As far as the federal incentives go, these apply to everyone. Every taxpayer is eligible. The current legislation for the residential energy tax credit is effective until the year 2016. The tax credit is in the amount of 30% of the installed system cost, and there is no maximum limit to the amount that you can claim as a tax credit for installing a photoelectric system or photovoltaic system. The taxpayer is required to file IRS Form 5695 at the end of the year, along with their regular tax return, in order to claim this energy tax credit. This is not a deduction. Keep that in mind. This is a credit against the actual tax liability. Now, if for some reason you don't have sufficient tax liability in a given year to claim all of the credit, you can claim as much as you have a liability for, and any unused credit can be carried over into future years. So having said all of that, let's see how this all applies to a typical photovoltaic solar electric system purchase. The installed price of a system would be $42,000. Approximately. This is not an actual price quote. Please keep that in mind. The Florida state rebate at $4 per watt would in this case be the full maximum $20,000. After you've applied for this and the state has approved it, they will send you a check for $20,000 as a rebate towards the purchase price of the installed system. We have the federal residential energy tax credit, which in this case 30% of $42,000 would be $12,600. Again, you apply for this at the end of the year, and then you become eligible to receive that money. Therefore, the net cost of this system to you would be $9,400. The majority of your system price is paid for by federal and or state incentives. Now, the payback period on this kind of an investment would be equal to the net cost of the system divided by the expected annual savings, which we've already stated would be $1,250. So for this hypothetical situation, the payback time on this system would be 7.5 years. The return on investment in the first year would be equal to the estimated savings in the first year divided by that estimated net cost of the system. In this case, it would be a return on investment of 13.2%. Now, when you're evaluating the cost effectiveness of a solar electric system, keep in mind that the typical photovoltaic solar electric system has an estimated 30 to 40 year useful life. In fact, the manufacturers of the solar collector panels, which is the heart of the system and the most expensive part of the system, those panels are warranted by most manufacturers for 25 years, and they are warranted to produce no less than 80% of their original rated factory power. So this is a long time investment. These cost savings are based on this year's current electric utility rates. If we take a look at where utility rates may be going over the next 25 years, the amount of savings that you can expect to get on an investment in a photoelectric system is quite dramatic. The horizontal green line is set at 12 cents per kilowatt hour, which is the current rate of electricity. The red line that trends upward towards the top of the graph shows the effect of a modest 5% annual increase in the cost of electricity over the next 25 years. And you can see where that takes us. Bear in mind, from 2002 to 2008, the average utility bill in the state of Florida doubled in cost. So in summary, a $9,400 investment will get you a return on investment of 13.2% and essentially free electricity for the next 30 to 40 years. Those are the considerations. Again, please consult with your own financial and tax professional advisors before making any purchase decision.